Hey everyone, this is Michelle, East Bay Stamp Chick, and I haven't been on a video in quite a while, but I'm so excited to come back and show you something new that I've made, and hopefully you guys will think it is fun. This, I think it's great. It's Christmas, so I love it. I love Christmas. This right here is what I would call a 3D vignette card, and it actually stands on its own. And it has a few layers. I'll just bring that up close so you can kind of see it. And my idea is that I love all those 3D vignettes and that you see like Becca Feekin makes, and you need special dies, but I wanted to be able to use the dies that I already have to make something like this. So this is what I came up with, and I used the Rose Garden die set, which I've done several times. If you follow me on Instagram or Facebook at East Bay Stamp Chick, then you'll know I use this die a lot. It's one of my favorites. And then for decorating, I did use the branch and cone die set, which you can see right here. I just put foil, so you can get like the Spellbinders foil and some adhesive sheets, die cut those out, and it sticks right to it. And then I did use the Frosty Snowflake die set as well, and then added some ribbon. So I just wanted to show you how to do this, what my idea is. And then in the center, you know, I did a little sentiment from our Believe in the Magic of Christmas. It's a little ATS set that we have. So let me show you. I'm going to actually do it with a different die set, something fall, because it is October. And I got this flower background Spellbinders set a while ago, and I was thinking to use it for something kind of spring and summer and pink, you know, is what I was thinking. I love pinks. But I really want to do something fall today because it's October. So I have some pre-cut out pieces to show you how I do this. Now, this is 3 layers. Okay, so there's 3 of whatever die you decide to pick. And it just needs to be a die that will cover the whole square. And this is an A2 standard size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So an example is, when you look at this one, you can see it's a whole panel, the die. And you can, you know, have an outer edge or not, but you need something that's going to cover everything for this. And what I did is I cut out 3. Get all my little stuff here. I cut 3 pieces out, and what you're going to do is then you're going to determine, do you want like a circle or a square, rectangle, whatever kind of shape you want in the center. That's going to give you like your little peephole there that you can put a sentiment, or you could put another die cut of something else in there. So I cut out 3 panels, and then I took decided I wanted a rectangle, and I took a small and the next size up and adhered those together with just a little tape, and I went through and cut out 3 frames. And then you take those frames and you glue it. I'm sorry, I got a cat on my table here and he is trying to get down, so let me just get him down real quick. There we go. He always wants to be in the center of everything. So then you're going to take the smallest rectangle, and you're going to cut that out of the center. Now what I do is I lined them all up and taped it in, and then I ran it through my die cut machine together. So I got the exact same cut on every single die. And that made it easy because you're going to want this to all line up. So then you take your frame that you made, and I just cut 1 of each, but you know, you could definitely stack these. So if you wanted to, you know, cut 2 or 3 of these frames, glue them together to really make a nice thick frame, you could. It might be something you would want to do like on the very front of your card. You know, wouldn't be needed on each layer, I don't think. Alright, so I'm going to line this up. Now, if it doesn't line up exactly right, you know, little things hanging over the edge, I just went through and trimmed them. And I kind of just checked the back to see that I got that pretty close. Yep. And that just stick. And I'm going to set that aside and let that dry a little bit. Now what you're also going to want to do is your back panel. I already gold embossed this with the sentiment, "Let our hearts be full of thanks and giving." And that's, I just thought was so sweet. And it's from one of my favorites, Thankful Friends stamp set. So we use that one right there. And what I did is I took one that I already had done and the glue was dry, and I laid it on my back panel and then stamped it. So, and I did heat emboss, so I did use a anti-static tool and my clear pigment ink, and then my gold powder. So that way I know it was going to be in the section that's cut out, so everyone gets to see it. So while that last panel is drying, we are going to start the process here. And I made one side already. And to create this side piece, what I did is it is 4.5 inches long, and then it is actually 1 1/4 inch wide. Then I scored it every 1/4 inch. Okay. I also made, you need 2 of those, 1 for each side. One of these I already did, but I also have these strips that are 4.5 inches long, and they are 1/2 inch wide, scored in the center, so it creates a 1/4 score, 1/4 inch on each side of the score line. And this is the 1 1/4 by 4.5. And the 2 score lines that are in the center, you don't need to fold on those. Those are just there as a reference for you to line up these little ledges that everything's going to sit on. I like to use glue to put this together because it gives me a little chance to, you know, wiggle it around if I need to. But you could definitely do some type of adhesive tape. And so I'm just going to put that in there, line it up, and let it rest on the edge below. And you can take something and just tap that down if you need to. Make sure it's on there good. And then we'll put this one too. And that will just butt up against the one that's already there. Let me just, yep, okay, you want to get it even on the sides, that way no one sees anything sticking out. Okay, so then you can let that dry. And what I did is I actually glued it right onto the base first. Okay. And it is important, once you decide, you know, where you're gluing it to your base, that all the both sides kind of match up, because the whole idea is that this is going to stand up. And I just eyeball it. I'm kind of bad about using a ruler, so I just kind of say, oh, that looks good, and that's what I do. So let's tap that down, making sure the glue is sticking. And we'll do this one. Switch that down just a little bit. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, probably about right there. Press that down. Give that a couple of seconds to really stick. Now, like I said, you could use any type of a tape runner that you like, but the only thing is sometimes once you put something down, then that's the way it's going to stay. And I like to have a little space to move things around. So see, these are going to sit on each ledge that we've created. And so you're going to glue those in on each one. And if you wanted more than just the 3 layers that I'm doing, you could totally do more layers. You just need to make these sides wider and create more ledges. Okay. So that's totally up to you. How big do you want this? So I'm going to pop a little glue in on this ledge here. And on this ledge. And I like having the back panel a different color because I like that it shows, and then keeping the shelves, little spine shelves on the side, I keep them the color that matches, so that way it's not that noticeable that they're there. I'm just going to use my crease tool to help get that to stick. It's important that you try it out standing up because you want to make sure that it's even at the bottom. This one is just having a little bit of a hard time sticking. Just going to hold that for a couple seconds here. And I am using 80-pound paper from Fun Stamper's Journey. And the dies that I'm using today are all from Fun Stamper's Journey or Spellbinders. So you can easily go on that site and find all of them there. Okay. Then we're going to do our next little row. Now my first one that I made, I didn't like play with it too much as it was drying, and so it's pretty stiff, so it stays standing up basically. But if you wanted to, just make sure these are even on there. Yep. If you wanted to kind of play with it as it dries, you could get this to collapse down and be something that fits into an envelope for sure. Just going to hold that a little bit till it kind of grips. This side seems to always want to take a little longer. And this glue will dry clear, so it's not going to really be noticeable. So for example, this one I didn't really play with, but if you did, you should be able to collapse it flat, and then you could get that into an envelope like this side. This way it collapses pretty good. The only thing is it won't fit in a standard A2 envelope because the die is already that size, and then when you collapse it down, it adds like another 1.5 inches total, I believe, between the two sides. There we go. That one's sticking good. Okay, so your last one goes on top. That's the one that we glued, and I just want to take a second here. And you can see a couple of like rough edges there from where it didn't quite line up where it cut away for the die. So just go in there with your scissors and get rid of those so you have a nice smooth area, and no one will ever know. Okay, so this one is going to sit right on top. Just going to bend that a little bit, make sure it's coming. Okay. All right. So I put a little glue on here. Whoops. All right. And I'm just going to stand this up to make sure I've got everything's even. And then you want to make sure on the front that you kind of hold it for a couple of seconds because you want the edges to all line up. Because this top piece will really help hold everything in to where it should be. So just give it a couple of seconds there. And you can really see the sentiment in the center. Kind of creates a nice looking tunnel down there that you can see. So I think that's really pretty. And then I love the 3D effect of having the 3 dies so you can see through all of that. And what's great is you can cover up these sides. If you don't like just this little 1/4 inch on each side showing through the die, you can totally cover that up with, you know, whatever decorations you want to put. Come in here with a little napkin. All right. So that will dry and it completely will stand. And then I did make a decoration that once it's dry, I can put that right on top. And so that gives me that kind of like a little Thanksgiving look there. And to do that, to make that one, I did use Martha's Pumpkin stamp set, that one right there. And I had a few leaf dies from my stash, and they are the Pretty Leaves die set and the Modern Frame die set, and I just used little leaves there. So that kind of created the whole look. So once this dries, it will be able to stand up. And if I play with it right now, because it's still wet, I can get it to flex a little bit so that I could flatten it and I could make an envelope for it. And then I could send it to someone if I wanted to. But I love this because it can stand on your fireplace mantle, on your desk. You know, it's just a nice little stand-up piece that I think is really cute that I would totally want to keep. And I would put that out each Christmas, or I would put it out, you know, Thanksgiving, whatever your whatever holiday you made it for. So there's both of them. So that's just a little quick way to show you how I did that. And again, you just need any die set that is a full panel, and you could do this with anything. So hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, please like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I make a lot of projects and I do post them on there, and that's a great place to see all the things I do if you're looking for new ideas for your paper crafting. Thank you so much for spending time with me, and I hope you have a great day and have some fun with some crafts.